Today is a very auspicious day, disappearance day of one of the dearest disciples of Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur, named Srila Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Gosai Maharaj. I will read from what Srila Bodhayan Maharaj collected on 1st May 1908. An effulgent Brahmin boy baby was born in the remote Durmut village of Mednipur district, located in West Bengal. His father, Padmalochan Sharma, mother, Srimati Rukmini Devi, and relatives named the baby Sarveshwar. Sarveshwar is the name of Supreme Lord Krishna, which means the Lord of all Lords. When the baby was in Srimati Rukmini Devi's womb, she used to see many pastimes of Sri Krishna in Vrindavan in her dreams. Thus, they named the baby boy Sarveshwar, because he is a pure devotee. So when he was in the womb of mother, she was having dreams of Krishna Lila. Since childhood, Sarveshwar was simple, enthusiastic, and hard-working. He was inclined towards renunciation. Means not attracted to this, not interested in this worldly enjoyment. All of these surrounding relatives inspired him to join Ramakrishna Mission's Belur Math near Calcutta. Sarveshwar went to Belur Math and stayed for some time. He realized that the residents there were eating non-vegetarian foods. Therefore, Sarveshwar just left the Belur Math and continued his search for the spiritual path. When he was 18 years old, Sarveshwar decided to leave home and started for Jagannath Puri Dham in order to search for a spiritual master. When he reached Jagannath Puri Dham, he stayed at the home of a priest of Lord Jagannath. One day, on the way back, after taking bath in the ocean, Sarveshwar met with a sannyasi named Srila Bhakti Prasun Bodhayan Gosai Maharaj and offered his obeisance. This Bodhayan Maharaj means disciple of Prabhupada, Bhakti Saraswati Thakur. The sannyasi asked Sarveshwar about his background. Sarveshwar expressed that he was searching for a pure devotee of the Lord under whom he could take shelter. Srila Bodhayan Gosai Maharaj immediately invited Sarveshwar to come to the Gauriya Math, located at Chatak Parvat, Jagannath Puri, and met Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. As soon as Sarveshwar saw Srila Prabhupada's tall, golden and grave form, Sarveshwar surrendered himself from the heart to Srila Prabhupada's divine feet. In that same year, in year 1926, on Gaur Purnima Day, Srila Prabhupada gave him first and second initiations. He got the name Sarveshwar Das Brahmachari. After initiation, Srila Prabhupada looked at Sarveshwar Brahmachari's nature and saw that he could be a good pujari. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada engaged Sarveshwar Brahmachari as a pujari for the deities at Sri Chaitanya Math, means Shri Shri Guru Gaurango Gandharvika Giridhari. Srila Prabhupada also engaged him in studying Sanskrit grammar through Jiva Goswami's Harinamrita Vyakaran in the temple campus Sanskrit school. Sarveshwar Brahmachari focused on study and puja without wasting any time in excessive sleep or gossip. Seeing Sarveshwar Brahmachari's inclinations and nature, Srila Prabhupada engaged him in various services in different temples such as in Kolkata, Dhaka, Patna, Gaya, Kashi, Prayag, Kurukshetra, etc. Once, the Gaudiya Math was invited to an international religious conference in Kolkata, and Srila Prabhupada chose Sarveshwar Brahmachari to present the philosophy of the Gaudiya Math in that conference. Sarveshwar Brahmachari was not very much educated in terms of material academics. Thus, he felt fearful at the sight of such a heavy responsibility and was crying. He felt unqualified to represent the Gaudiya Math in that huge conference. He requested Srila Prabhupada's personal servant, Shripad Krishnananda Prabhu, to request Prabhupada to engage someone who was more educated to attend the conference, such as Srila Bhakti Rakshidhar Dev Gosai Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Hirdoy Bon Gosai Maharaj, Shripad Atul Chandra Prabhu, etc. This Atul Chandra Prabhu later became Srila Bhakti Saranga Gosai Maharaj, who was sent to London also to preach during the time of Prabhupada. As soon as Shripad Krishnananda Prabhu presented this message to Srila Prabhupada said, "Why is he crying? There can be no change. He should follow whatever I have said." With eyes full of tears, Sarveshwar Brahmachari went to the conference. The next day, Srila Prabhupada was reading the newspaper, and the headline read, "Glories of the Gaudiya Math." Sarveshwar Brahmachari had so brilliantly presented the teachings of the Gaudiya Math. Srila Prabhupada called over all of the disciples who were surrounding him and said, "Look, he was crying and felt unqualified, but now look at his qualification. Actually, we are all unqualified, but we become qualified when we get the mercy of the Guru Parampara. We are not representing Mahaprabhu's mission by our academic degrees. It is actually Mahaprabhu's mercy which allows us to represent his mission." Once, Sarveshwar Das Brahmachari went to Dhaka, Bangladesh with Srila Prabhupada. A miraculous incident took place there. There was a landlord who was by nature completely atheistic. If people did not follow what he liked, then he used to punish them by physically beating them. When Srila Prabhupada reached that place, the local people informed him about it. Srila Prabhupada sent Sarveshwar Brahmachari to the house of the landlord for begging alms, but the wife of the landlord very roughly rejected Sarveshwar Brahmachari. This type of incident occurred for several days. Then one day, the wife of the landlord gave Sarveshwar Brahmachari some uncooked rice. He took that rice back to the temple. The next day, he cooked it in the temple and brought the prasadam of the cooked rice along with other preparations back to the landlord's house. Some time after this incident, the atheistic landlord's family all became disciples of Srila Prabhupada. You see, because he made so that they could do that Sukriti they gave, and he offered to Krishna, and immediately Krishna blessed them. He changed their hearts. In 1935, the Gaudiya Math in Gaya was facing some problems with the local people who stopped cooperating with the temple. Srila Prabhupada sent Sarveshwar Prabhu to Gaya. Due to the purity of Sarveshwar Das Brahmachari, the whole atmosphere transformed by 180 degrees, and all of the local residents became inspired to cooperate with the temple again. In 1936, during a spiritual meeting, Navadip Dham Pracharini Sabha, conducted at the Jogapith Temple, Mayapur, In the presence of Srila Prabhupada, Sarveshwar Prabhu sweetly chanted Kirtan and gave discourses with attractive Vaishnava language. There, Srila Prabhupada gave him the title Rag Ratna and gave him the Bhakti Shastri certificate. Raga Ratna means jewel of spontaneous loving devotion. Thus he was known as Raga Ratna Sarveshwar Brahmachari Bhakti Shastri. While Sarveshwar Das Brahmachari was in Bagbazar Gauriya Math, he once met with his relatives. This was 12 years after he had taken up renounced life, staying at the Gauriya Math. Because we heard before, at the age of 18 he left house, but he did not tell, means after that he did not see anyone. So this was 12 years after. He brought his relatives to meet Srila Prabhupada. Thereafter, Srila Prabhupada told Sarveshwar Das Brahmachari to go with his relatives and preach in their home. In June 1936, during the period of Ratha Yatra festival, Srila Prabhupada gave sannyas initiation to Sarveshwar Prabhu at Purushottam located in Chatak Parvat, Jagannath Puri. There in Srila Bharati Maharaj's book and also in Bhakti Vikas Swami's book, it is mentioned that he was very much afraid. Prabhupada told him, you will have to take sannyas. But he became afraid because another sannyasi left sannyas and got married, although later he again accepted. And this Sarveshwar Brahmachari was thinking, maybe there is some latent in me, because on his hand there was also marriage. It was confirmed. So he was afraid then it is not good if later I will have to give up sannyas. Now I'm not having desire, but maybe later that desire will come from within because of my karma. So he was afraid and was hesitating. Then they told to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada told, no, why you are afraid? You are going towards the Abhay Charanara Binda Krishna, one whose lotus feet bestow fearlessness. So the more you go towards him, there should be no fear. So in this way he encouraged him, and he was the, here it is also mentioned, this was the last sannyas initiation that Srila Prabhupada gave during his manifest pastimes. Sarveshwar Brahmachari received the new name Srila Bhakti Vichar Jajabar Gosai Maharaj. Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj was an excellent kirtan singer and spontaneously possessed all Vaishnava qualities. Later on, when they were seeing his hand, they saw that that line where the marriage was confirmed was changed. It was not there anymore. So if one surrenders to Krishna via bona fide guru, then his karma will be destroyed, will be changed. Otherwise it is impossible. Prarabdha karma you cannot change. Only Krishna can change if you surrender. So excellent kirtan singer, and also he was also the first one. It happened in Puri Dham that Prabhupada engaged for singing these Ashtakaliya Lila Kirtans which we are singing now during Kartik. As I told before, that at first there was only Shikastaka Kirtans and explanation 8 times a day. But in this last Kartik, 1936, Prabhupada also introduced the hearing and chanting of Leelas. So he, Sarveshwar Brahmachari, was the first to sing this. Dekhiya yarono doi brinda devi best hoy, and this all Leelas. By the grace of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj got all of the knowledge of Vaishnava philosophy and used to disseminate the teachings in simple and eloquent language on the basis of Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Since the time he joined as a brahmachari in the Gauriya Math, Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj used to chant 64 rounds of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day, even when he was physically ill. In 1937, after Srila Prabhupada's physical departure, Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj's spontaneous, peaceful, sweet, simple nature kept him away from conflict and inspired him to establish a temple named Shyamananda Gauriya Math, along with like-minded God brothers in Mednipur, near his birthplace in Medinipur. Means our Parangurudev, Srila Bhakti Kumud Shanta Gosai Maharaj and Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj, they opened that temple. Then later on, he was main in charge there. And our Gurudev also, he said that he first met him there. When our Gurudev joined Parangurudev in Calcutta, then he was staying in the mat. Then Parangurudev sent him to this Mednipur mat to avoid meeting with his family members who came there to Gauriya Mat to take him back home. So when Gurudev was in Mednipur, Shyamananda Gauriya Mat, he met Jajabar Gosai Maharaj there, and he said he was seeing him dancing and singing loudly, and he was chanting Japa Mala very long time, because every day he was chanting 64 rounds. On chair he was sitting, and for a long time, because it takes time. And he was also expert cook, and also he was giving Harikatha classes, Bhagavatam Harikatha, with full absorption. And really, today I heard his Harikatha, one part on BB Tirtha they published in Bangla. Very clearly he's explaining, slowly speaking, and very clear, really, as says here. He was speaking about that verse, Ajanulambita Bhujo Kanakavadato Sankirtane Kapitaro Kamalaya Vishwambaro Dijabaro Jugadharma Palo Bande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro. About glories of Gaura Nityananda, and that in this Kali Yuga age there are innumerable ocean of faults, but there is one great quality, that just by Nama Sankirtan one can attain highest goal. And then he explained about 4 yugas and Yuga Dharma for every age, and how Supreme Lord comes as Yuga Avatar to establish that. And also about Mahaprabhu, it is mentioned in Shastra, Krishna Varnam Trisha Krishnam, that verse, Sangoma, that he explained very, very clearly. Slow speaking and everything very clear. Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj's life was filled with miracles. Once Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj, along with his disciples, went to the home of one of his sannyasi disciples for preaching. When Srila Jajabar Goswami reached that home with his disciples, a snake had bitten one of the people living next door to that household. Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj, along with his disciples, went to that house and read the pastime of Lord Krishna subduing the Kaliya snake from the Srimad Bhagavatam. After hearing Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj's recitation of the Kaliya Daman pastimes, that person who was bitten by the snake miraculously became cured, got up, and offered his obeisances to Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj. Sometimes they are displaying such miraculous powers. Our Gurudev also sometimes. One child, she had some incurable something on face here, and her father started to come to our mat to Arati and also take darshan Gurudev. So once he brought, and Gurudev asked, what is this? Then he said, this is by birth something, and doctor said it is not possible. Some that, like purple something was here. Then Gurudev, he caressed by his hand like this. Then after 14 days, that disappeared. Gradually start to disappear, and after 14 days totally disappeared, miraculously. Then that means that father surrendered to Gurudev, and all his family members also. They became disciples. You know him, Indranil Gupta. He told me this, how he got faith in Gurudev by this. So sometimes pure devotees, they will do something like this to awaken faith. Their target is not this, some material benefits, that is not their target, but sometimes they may use for the sake of encouraging people to become devoted to Krishna and his devotees. Nothing is impossible for them. Krishna is omnipotent, omniscient. He can do whatever he likes. Later on, Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj established a temple in Mayapur named Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat Mat. He also established a temple in Jagannath Puri. His mat is next door to our mat in Mayapur. When you will go out, left side you will go next door. I used to go these 3 years when I was in Mayapur for Kartik. I used to go on this day to his mat for this appearance festival. There all Vaishnavas will come from different mats and they will speak his glories. There is his samadhi, and then Hogarati and big prasad distribution feast is there. And one sannyasi is there now, Vaishnav Maharaj. He's a very nice, he's many times coming to our mat to little associate there. It's the morning of the anniversary day of Srila Narottam Das Thakur's disappearance. Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj was physically severely ill. Yesterday we were observing this Narottam Thakur. But he was completely calm, quiet and conscious. All of the disciples surrounding him were chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj was also chanting with his soft voice. That evening, Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj physically departed from this world in Shyamananda Gauriya Math in Mednipur on 15th October 1984. So it was the same day as today. Titi came on same 15th October. At 5:30 p.m. in the presence of all of his disciples and his appointed successor, Srila Bhakti Vistar Vishnu Gosai Maharaj. His Samadhi Mandir is also now there in Mayapur. He also already disappeared. During the disappearance pastime, Srila Bhakti Vichar Vishnu Gosai Maharaj saw in his divine vision a beautiful transcendental chariot in which Shri Shri Radha Krishna were seated on a beautiful throne. Two Sakis appeared from that chariot in front of Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj, and they said, "This is our Malati Manjari," and they took him to the spiritual world. So his Siddha name is Malati Manjari. After his physical departure, all of the disciples decided to take Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj's holy transcendental body to Sri Mayapur Dham, and he was placed in Samadhi at his Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat Mat. Srila Jajabar Gosai Maharaj's entire spiritual life teaches us to keep sound faith on the words of the spiritual master and the authentic scriptures. Eventually, the eternal truth will be revealed in our hearts. There is no need to depend upon academic degrees. We just need the blessings of the Parampara in order to reach our ultimate destination, Sri Golok Vrindavan. You will find some other incidents also in Srila Bharati Maharaj's book, and also Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami's article is there, so you can read. And I'm remembering his deity there in Samadhi and bowing down to Maharaj, praying for his causeless mercy to forgive for any offenses committed to him knowingly or unknowingly, and to bestow pure devotion to Krishna and his devotees. I met one, his disciple. He used to come for Kartik in our mat. He was dancing much. And Jajavar Gosai Maharaj also wrote many songs himself in Bengali. Also about the glories of Prabhupada, you will find in Gurudev's book. And some other many books he published, so he was fully devoted to Krishna, and he gave sannyas to Srila Bhakti Kumar Chanta Gosai Maharaj. So yesterday we were hearing about Narottam Das Thakur's that song, so little I will read further today. About becoming one-pointed in devotion to Krishna, not worshipping demigods, not doing karma gyan, all this, it was explained, and not going to holy places for the sake of rescuing from being of sins, and because the perfection is the lotus feet of Govinda, and these ninefold devotions we should do in association of devotees. I will serve Govinda with all my senses, and I will not worship demigods and goddesses for the fulfillment of some other non-eternal desires. This is the highest principle of devotional service. All other processes are simply born of pride, and I feel great pain in my heart by seeing them. Dehe boise ripu gon, jotek indriya gon, keho kar badya nahi hoy. Shunile na shuno kan, janile na jane pran. Dharaite na pare nishchoy. The six enemies, lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, and envy, and the five senses of sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch reside in my body, but I am unable to control them. Although I hear and understand repeatedly that one should serve Krishna with all his senses, still I cannot accept this fact with firm determination. Kama Krodha Moha Lobha Mada Matsarja Damba Soho Stane Stane Nijukta Koribo Ananda Kori Hridoy Ripu Kori Parajoy Anayase Govinda Bhojibo. I will engage lust, anger, greed, illusion, envy, and pride in their proper places. In this way, I will defeat the enemies, and with ecstasy in my heart, I will worship Govinda without difficulty. Krishna Seva Kamarpane Krodha Bhakta Dveshi Jone Loba Sadhu Sange Horikata Moha ishtalabha bine Mada Krishna gunogane ninjukta karibo jata tatha. I will engage my lust in eagerness to serve Krishna, and I will use my anger against those who are envious of the devotees. I will be greedy to hear the topics of Hari in the association of the devotees. I will be illusioned if I will fail to achieve my worshipable Lord, and I will feel proud to chant the glories of Krishna. Or intoxicated. Mada also means intoxication. In this way, I will engage them in their respective duties. So only 5 of them can be directly engaged. And Matsarja, envy or malice, wishing to harm others, that you cannot engage, because that is just the opposite of prema. So that is only you should give up. By engaging all these enemies in the service of Krishna and all senses, everything, developing prema, there is no desire to commit harm to anyone. That one should give up. Anyata swatantra kam anarthadi jarnam bhakti pote sada de bhango. Kiba ba kori te pare kama kroda sadakere jodi hoy sadhu sang sadhu jonar sanga. You see. Otherwise, independent lasting desires, if you don't engage them, which are the source of all unwanted things, will always disturb the path of devotional service. That is the difference between Gyan and Yoga renunciation and devotion. They only try to give up, but they are not positively engaged in the service of Krishna. So after some time again, they will forcefully try to stop, but after some time again they will go. Like Saubari Rishi, he was Maha Gyani. 10,000 years he was doing tapasya under that water in Jamuna, meditating. But one day he saw fishes there having sex relation in the water, and he became agitated. And he came out of water and went to King Mandata, and he married his 50 daughters and produced children and everything. But later on again he understood that this is not good, and he surrendered to Krishna and his wives also. And Vishwamitra, he was a yogi. He was doing tapasya for 60,000 years. But he became attracted to heavenly, that Apsara, Menaka, and he was with her. So by only restraining, that desire will not be removed, it will not be uprooted. You have to be properly engaged in the service of Krishna and getting higher taste. Then by that higher taste, you will not be interested in these things. So if they are independent, they will disturb bhajan. So we have to engage them on. What harm can lasting desires and anger do to a practitioner of devotional service if he associates with devotees? Devotees, they are very powerful. Their atmosphere, and you will feel inspired to serve Krishna, and they are serving. So that will help you, and you will not be interested in these desires. But when we go out from sadhu sangha, like our Gurudev used to say, dog's tail is curved. When you pull, it will be straight. But if you release, then again it will become curved. Like that, when we are in sadhu sangha, pure devotee sadhu sangha, then we feel all right. But if we leave, then again that will attack. Krodha bana kore kiba krodha tyak sada diba loba moha eito kothon chaya ripu sadahin koriba monera dhin Krishna Chandra kori asmaran. Anger spoils everything. Therefore, I will always give up anger, greed, and illusion. I will control the 6 enemies with the help of my mind while remembering Lord Krishna. Anger comes due to unfulfilled selfish desire, or someone puts obstruction or something, and because of blaming others for suffering, so anger, and you will lose your conscience, what is right, what is wrong, and you will commit many wrong things under the influence of anger. So this has to be given up. Anger, greed, and illusion. How? By always remembering Lord Krishna, his Nam, Rup, Gun, Lila. That will be positively. In Upadeshamrita also we are hearing now during Kartik, there Prabhupada explained that one can get control over his mind and anger and all this by engagement in the service of Krishna. Then there is no, that will be removed. So tomorrow I will read, it is only few more verses to finish this song. How to attain Nishta. Aponi palabe sop, shunya govindarop, সিংহা রবে যেন করিগণ সাকালে বিপত্তি যাবে মহানন্দ সুখ পাবে যার হয় একান্ত ভজন. All the enemies will run away, these 6 enemies, by hearing the sound vibration of Govinda's name, just as a deer flee upon hearing the roar of a lion. One who performs unalloyed devotional service will feel great happiness and all his dangers will be vanquished. That is why loudly we have to chant Harinam. Then everyone will run away. Na koriho asa chesta labh puja pratishta sada chinta Govinda charan. Sakale bipoti jabe mahananda sukho pabe prema bhakti parama karan. Therefore, my dear mind, do not endeavor for bad association, profit, adoration, and distinction. La puja pratishta. Someone should respect me, worship me, praise me, all this. And bad association, they want to engage me in some other sense enjoyment like this. So do not endeavor for this, but always remember the lotus feet of Govinda. Please engage in loving devotional service with great happiness and all your dangers will be destroyed. Actually here in Bangla it is Sakale bipoti jabe. All problems, all dangers will go away. Mahananda sukho pabe. You will be happy in devotional service to Krishna. Prema bhakti parama karan. Asat kriya kutinati charo anya paripati. Onyo debe na koriho roti. Apono apono stane piriti sabhaitane bhakti pote poroye bigoti. Please give up all duplicity, illusory activities, and the search for bodily happiness. Do not be attached to the worship of various demigods. Mundane love and affection for material relationships attracts everyone to their respective illusions, and thus advancement on the path of devotional service is checked. Like in this world, someone think lottery, oh, if I will pay, then maybe I will win. So like that, oh, if I will worship Shiva, I will get this. If I will worship Kali, I will get this. So don't be attached to this. And all this you give up, that will put obstacle to your real welfare, which is devotional service. So when one can practice in the way as described in this song, by sadhu sangha, all this will happen and our sincere effort to serve Krishna and giving up all this. Then next song comes Naishtika Bhajan, means Nishta Bhajan, that fixed, constant and pure bhajan. Jai Shri Narottam Thakur ki Jai. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's songs, now he's speaking about already Nishta and all this. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur's songs, they are elaborately describing this, how to achieve this. We have so many things to come to that point. And then further songs will be there of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Narottam Thakur, and also Leela and Raganu, everything is there, but there is a gradual procedure we have to do. And we are hearing, yesterday we heard that Gajendra told that there is the Lord is the great ocean, the conclusion, the resting place of waves in the form of Pancharatra and the Vedas. So I found that, so I will read to you that Vedas, 4 Vedas, 4 Vedas are there, and Brahma Gayatri, so Rig, Sama, Jajur, Atharva. So the Vedas are divided further into Sanghita, and this is comprise a collection of all verses in that particular Veda. Then the Brahmanas, they explain the history and esoteric significance of the mantras and sacrifices. They describe in detail about those Sanghita verses. Then you have Aranyakas, explaining the hidden purpose behind all the Vedas and Brahmanas. And finally, Upanishads. They give the philosophical meaning behind the verses and rituals. So these 4 are part of the Vedas and Brahma Gayatri. Generally, ladies, they are not initiated into this mark, into this path. They can be Brahmin, and they, by their service to Brahmin husband, they are also engaged in that way, but not directly like doing yaga and chanting those mantras. Then there is Pancharatrika mark. Pancharatrika mark means, so Vedic Vidhi is more elaborate and difficult, and you have to be born as a Brahmin and then all those sanskaras and everything. So Pancharatrika mark means in the beginning of creation, Lord Brahma heard the Vedas from Sri Krishna. At that time, the demons Madhu and Koitaba appeared from Mahavishnu, entered Lord Brahma's mind, and stole the Vedas. Krishna then manifested the Hayagriva avatar to kill Madhu and Koitaba. Lord Brahma asked Krishna to teach him the Vedas again, but just the essence, since he might die at any moment. For 5, that is Pancha, consecutive nights, Ratri, Krishna taught Lord Brahma the essence of the Vedas. That knowledge became known as the Pancharatric knowledge, a system of practical philosophy and the procedures for worship. There are hundreds of Pancharatras, like Narad Pancharatra, and we also have Hari Bhakti Vilas, like this. So Pancharatrika mark, which includes deity worship and chanting Gayatri mantras, keeps one off the material plane and fixed on the spiritual platform until love of Godhead is awakened through the process of chanting the holy names. That is our Diksha mantras, that is Pancharatrika process and deity worship. And then the third one is Bhagavat Marg. That is Nama Sankirtan. So we are doing all here, the Panchara, yes. Therefore, the Bhagavad Acharyas recommend following the Pancharatrika Marg and Bhagavat Marg simultaneously. Although in Gauriya Math males, they are following all three, Vedic, by that Brahma Gayatri, and Pancharatrik, those Diksha mantras, the ladies also they can get. Although Swami Maharaj also gave Brahma Gayatri to ladies also. And Bhagavat Marg, Nama Sankirtan, because the purpose of all is the same, to engage us in the service of Krishna. So they are in cooperation in one target there. But Harinam is the most important. Even only with Harinam one can get all perfections. So this is, Supreme Lord is the forum of Pancharatra and Vedas, because Shastra, they are not different from Krishna. They are his breathing, transcendental sound. That is why you cannot understand the Shastra without submission, without devotion. That verse is there in Upanishad. Yasya deve para bhaktir jatha deve tata guru tasyaite katita hi artah prakashante mahatmana. If one will have devotion to Guru as much as he has to Krishna, both, to such a Mahatma, real great soul, means devotee, the meaning of the scripture will be revealed. Otherwise it is not possible. Even if you don't understand the language, if you have submission like that Brahmin in South India, you will get darshan of Krishna. So Shastra is not different from Krishna. It is self-effulgent, self-revealed. Only through submission we can receive and understand. So also yesterday we heard that verse, and in the commentary at the end it was, you reveal yourself to those who give up the rules of the Vedas, means karma kant, those rituals, by thinking of the nature of Atma. They come to Naishkarmya, means when one will fulfill that karma kant, then he can come to transcendental platform, that is Upanishads and Vedanta Sutra, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. And ultimately Vedanta means devotion to Krishna, which is very clearly described in Srimad Bhagavatam. So one will come to the platform of Naishkarmya, giving up all false ego and these materialistic activities, when he will come to transcendental pursuit for eternal welfare. Some may first, by gradual procedure, enter into Gyan and then devotion, but you can also go directly to devotion by grace of pure devotee. Now today, this verse I will just read because there is no time. Madrik prapanna pashu pasha vimokshanaya muktaya buri karunaya namolayaya sankshena sarvatanu brin manasi pratita pratyak drishya bhagavate brihate namaste. I offer respects to the Lord who liberates animals like me, surrendered to you from the noose of samsara, because this is, crocodile represents also this worldly bondage. Even though I rejected you before this time, I offer respects to the most merciful Lord, whose mercy has no end, who is the mind of all beings, who is perceived as Paramatma in his expanded form, and who is the ultimate form of Bhagavan Krishna. So tomorrow we will hear the explanation of this verse. It is very nice. Here Gurudev explained, in this world if you are with some person and then you do something wrong or you go away, and then after some time when you will realize your mistake and you will come back to him, that person will not accept you. He will say, ah, you did this to me, now you go away, now you're go. So this hesitation should not be there with Supreme Lord, because his mercy is unlimited. We committed offense to him. We did not want to serve. We wanted to enjoy Maya. But that does not mean if now we will go, that he will reject us. No. He will accept us if we sincerely come for his service. Tomorrow we'll hear more.